It's all a game of perception. This is the South Indian saying Namaskara to you. After all, my show is called the South Indian because I do all the issues related to the south of India. Similarly, perception is formed when you actually walk the talk. I don't think that the Karnataka government is doing much to walk the talk. When they came into power, led by Siddaramaiah and of course his lieutenant D.K. Shivakumar, there was a lot of hope that whatever the BJP had left behind, whether it was corruption, 40% Sarkara, remember, and mainly whether it was sectarianism, everything would be absolutely stymied by this government. But it seems not, because here I am within a week talking to you once again, and my topic is right here. Mandya, Dharwad, Bhatkal, Raichur. Karnataka ignited. Let's figure out why. What happened? Communal strife in Karnataka is spreading like a bushfire. Make no mistake, even as the government is making all attempts to douse the rumours, this shall have serious repercussions when we go to polls this year. It shall be a week this Sunday when Keregodu village in Karnataka's Mandya district erupted in communal strife over Hanuman Dharwad. The story goes that permission was granted in this village in Mandya to fly either the Tricolour or Karnataka state flag, but went up in the air was an obviously religious flag with Hanumana's image accompanied by slogans of Jai Shri Ram. The BJP went on a protest march and accused the Siddaramaiah government of being anti-Hindu and falling prey to appeasement. But you know what? The jack in the box, surprise, surprise, it is the JDS, the new partner of the BJP, which also took up cudgels against the incidents in Mandya. On the one hand, even as H.D. Kumaraswamy said he shall not support the BJP on anything illegal, despite his presence, of course, along with BJP leaders at the site, HDK also added, and I am going to read out what he said. He said, "What connection do I have with the incident? I did not instigate violence. BJP had organized the protest and they had invited me. My followers had also invited me. During my 13-minute speech at Keregodu, I did not discuss Hindutva or the Bhagwa, that is saffron flag. I have only spoken about the failure of the government and also the local legislator who requires maturity and training." The BJP was in your face and minced no words, as this shall of course give them a handle when they go campaigning for 2024.
सरकार का पैसे के वजह से ध्वजस्तंभ नहीं लगाया था, जनता ने दिया था, भक्ति भाव से दिया था। वो लोग हनुमान ध्वज फहराने के लिए दिया था, हनुमान ध्वज फहराने के लिए दिया था। जनता की इच्छा की वजह से हनुमान ध्वज लगाना चाहिए। करना मतलब भगवा ध्वज निकालना है क्या? हनुमान ध्वज निकालना है क्या? हनुमान ध्वज निकाल करके सनातन धर्म को अपमान किया, हिंदू विरोधी नीति को प्रकट किया। वो लोग उस नीति के खिलाफ, हिंदू विरोधी कांग्रेस नीति के खिलाफ हम संघर्ष करेंगे।
ಮಂಡ್ಯದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಹನುಮ ಧ್ವಜವನ್ನ ಸುಮಾರು 108 ಅಡಿ ಹನುಮ ಧ್ವಜವನ್ನ ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯಿತಿಯ ಅನುಮೋದನೆಯೊಂದಿಗೆ, ಅಂಡರ್ಲೈನ್, ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯಿತಿಯ ಅನುಮೋದನೆಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಧ್ವಜವನ್ನ ಹಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಅವರು ಏಕಾಏಕಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಆ ಧ್ವಜವನ್ನ 108 ಅಡಿ ಹನುಮಂತನ ಧ್ವಜವನ್ನ, ಹನುಮಂತನ ಬಾವುಟವನ್ನ ಕಿತ್ತಾಕಿ ಆ ಧ್ವಜಸ್ತಂಭವನ್ನ ಧ್ವಂಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಈಗ ನನ್ನ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದು ಯಾವುದೇ ಅಹಿತಕರ ಘಟನೆಗಳಾಗದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಶಾಂತಿ ಭಂಗ ತರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಿದ್ರೋ ಯಾರಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವರೇ ಹೇಳಿದಂಥ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಂಡ್ಯ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯ ಜನ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಒಬ್ಬ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಪ್ರಜೆಗೆ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಆದರೂ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ರಕ್ಷಣೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನನ್ನ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ನನಗೆ ಇವರು ಯಾರಿಂದೂ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಜನತೆಗೆ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಆದಾಗ ಅವ್ರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಹೊರತು ಬೆಂಕಿ ಹಚ್ಚೋ ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ.
The Siddaramaiah government defended its stand by calling BJP desperate and the JDS opportunists. Siddaramaiah used some very sharp words comments, including comparing the BJP to Godse's descendants.
ಒತ್ತಾಯ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅನುಮತಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಏನಂತ ಅನುಮತಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಧ್ವಜ ಆರಿಸಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಧ್ವಜ ಆರಿಸಿ ಅಂತ ಮುಚ್ಚುಳಿಕೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಟ್ಟವ್ರೆ ಇವರು ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಮುಚ್ಚುಳಿಕೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯಾವುದೇ ಧರ್ಮದ ಯಾವುದೇ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಬಾವುಟ ಆರಿಸಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್. ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಮೇಲೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ಯಾಕೆ ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು? ಮುಚ್ಚುಳಿಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದರ ಅರ್ಥ ಅದನ್ನು ರಾಜಕೀಯಗೊಳಿಸಿ ಅದರ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಲಾಭ ಪಡಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಉದ್ದೇಶದಿಂದ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಶಾಂತಿಯನ್ನು ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಇದೆ.
All of them have lost their deposits in BJP. Okay, that is why they have embraced with JDS. Now they wanted to have a political foothold in Mandya. They are just creating confusion in the minds of the public. Nothing will happen. Mandya is a very secular people. People of Mandya are very tolerant, very secular. They will not look at it. We have a national structure. We have a constitution. We have a national history. It has been run by Maharajas. How Maharajas took out those area, I think it will go up. This is purely politics, and they wanted to destabilize the peace of the state.
Both Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar are trying really hard, but I'm sorry, it's a little less and too late. Of course, after too much rumbling, the Keragodu Gram Panchayat PDO Jeevan BM was finally suspended. Close on heels of Monday, of course, came Dharwad, where few families left the village of Tadkod fearing visits by Hindu activists. The history of this apparently lies in a controversial picture on social media by a member of our minority community. There are also reports of a place of worship having been destroyed in Dharwad. Now it is Raichur district's turn. After a portrait of Tipu Sultan was garlanded with footwear, the Muslim community went on a rampage by blocking traffic and demanded the arrest of culprits. Although the garland was later removed from the portrait, the damage has been done. So, if Tipu is in focus, can Savarkar be left far behind? There was palpable tension in Bhatkal town. On a flag, yet again, flag seems to be the lead motif. On 21st of January, the youth set up a flag post at the Gram Panchayat in Bhatkal Taluk and named it after Veer Savarkar. The Panchayat officials swung into action and demolished the flag post, and then began the problem, and so on and so forth. You know what? I don't hold a brief for the JDS. But if there is one thing I agree with H.D. Kumaraswamy, then it is how the Congress is clearly ceding space to the BJP. Has the Congress forgotten that it is responsible for securing the lives of the people of Karnataka? Let's debate. I am adding yet another rider. Today I have not invited any spokesperson from any political party because I really do not want it to become tutu meh, you said this, I said that, tit for tat. We should have a debate where we seriously think, what is Karnataka going through? Bhatkal Raichur, editor, TV9 Kannada Digital, and my colleague is joining us on the show. Anusha Ravi Sood, editor-in-chief of South First, is also here. Suresh Kochatil, who is a political analyst, will join us in a bit, and Brinda Adige, activist from Karnataka, is also joining us on the debate. Namaskara to all of you. Great to see you today. First, let me ask, Bhatkal Raichur. Bhaskar, one incident happens, two incidents happen. I know that we journalists always will say, how can this happen? Let's put it out, at least put it out on ticker, like we say on television. But it's happening very rapidly. I had Anusha Ravi Sood only last week or maybe this week, early this week. And once again, we've added to this, there is now Raichur and Bhatkal also, which is added to that. What is going on in Karnataka? Is it the election season? Clearly, is it the failure of the Siddaramaiah government, which is too busy trying to douse fires within its party and government? Don't you think that Karnataka is once again hurtling into sectarian violence?
Sudha, good evening. I think the very first incident was Keragodu, that is in Mandya. You explained to viewers. Now, the very interesting fact is In Karagodu, I don't call it as a communal because there are 2-3 points. If you were to describe a communal incident, I presume that there should be two communities, the fight between two communities.
Okay.
In Karagodu, it is not between two communities, it is only one community. They wanted to hoist a flag and the government has intervened. Now, can you call a government versus the localites fight as communal? Of course, it's a different categorization we can make. But of course, I think it's a bit difficult to categorize or brand this Karagodu incident as communal in the first place. And of course, what led to this in Raichur and as a kind of repercussion, or is it a stray incident not connected with Karagodu, is a different matter. Of course, in Raichur, this garlanding Tipu statue, or in Bhatkal, what they wanted to erect a pole post and hoist a dhwaj, Savarkar dhwaj, post, that's a different issue. But even in Bhatkal also, it's again a group against the government, local administration. Only in Raichur, we can call it a kind of communal because Tipu photo was garlanded, this thing. So that can be given a kind of communal identity, if not. But I think these both Bhatkal and Karagodu are not communal in my interpretation.
I would like to differ there, because if you garland a picture of Tipu and you call it communal, garlanding a picture of Savarkar and standing there and trying to kind of be more loyal than the king is equally communal. And when I say it's communal, Bhaskar, what I mean is that the BJP and the JDS have now gone and said Siddaramaiah is into Muslim appeasement. I am not going to mince word and call it minority. They are said that he is somebody who is anti-Hindu. Whether you garland the picture of Netaji, whether you garland the picture of Qazi Nazrul Islam, if you stand there and if you say this is this way or my way or the highway, I think it's somewhere trying to reassert your identity, which could lead to communal trouble. Anusha Ravi Sood, let me come to you. Anusha, do you, this kind of string of incidents which I have now spoken about, when I spoke to you last, we were only on Mandya and Dharwad. Now it is also Raichur and it is also Bhatkal, and we know the kind of history of Bhatkal, a bit more than what a lot of other viewers would know. So, I am asking you that is there some kind of a movement or a kind of a tectonic shift which is taking place in Karnataka because of 2024?
There should be no doubt that all of these incidents is a build-up to a larger narrative which somehow revisits Karnataka every time there's an election around. Something that you disagreed with, Bhaskar, I must agree with you on disagreeing with Bhaskar. If you look at all of these incidents in isolation, maybe they seem like absolutely innocent incidents of, people wanting something and the government not permitting them to do so. But there's a lot of planning that goes behind these incidents. These are not incidents that someday somebody wakes up and say, okay, today I'm in the mood to construct a flagpole and hoist a saffron flag, so I'll do it. These are sustained movements that are aimed at achieving a particular narrative, and that narrative is what becomes the pole plank on which the Congress government, the incumbent government, and largely the Congress, whether it is in the opposition or in the government, is targeted as anti-Hindu, as anti-majority, anti-majoritarian community party. So this is a playbook that plays out every year in Karnataka, every time there is an election, not just in Karnataka, rest of the country as well, but in Karnataka more so. So I would think it is rather naive to think that these incidents are in isolation and do not mean anything, especially when elections are around the corner. Look at what happened previously, before in the 2018 election. In the run-up to the 2018 election, the BJP's poll plank was this massive Padayatra that was led by its MPs, especially in coastal regions and in Kodagu, Mysore, etc. These regions that are known to be communally sensitive, it was called the Janasuraksha Yatra. A list of Hindu workers allegedly murdered or were put together by the BJP. It turned out that a lot of people on this list were not even dead. Some of them were not Hindu workers. One of the most important cases in this is the case from Honavar, from closer to Bhatkal, of Paresh Meshta. The CBI too insisted that it was not a communal murder.
Right, right. So, on that note, let me take a break. It's time for a break, and after that I go to Suresh, who's joined us now, and also to Brinda Adige, but do stay with us back in a moment.
तो जब हम करेंगे तो पता लग ही जाएगा। सलमान खान का करेंगे, मारेंगे या जोधपुर में मारेंगे तो पता लग जाएगा।
This is someone who is sitting inside our jails and is still very obviously and openly running and possibly the largest organized criminal operation in the country.
स्टूडेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑफ पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी में सोपूगा एक्टिंग प्रेसिडेंट टाइप भी रहा है.
He was a troublemaker, getting into fights with people, not coming to the class.
As on gate, it appears that Lawrence gang is the most important, the prominent gang. Gangs here in Punjab, they are intimidated.
Today he is India's most dangerous gangster, and India's prisons are apparently no bar to how Bishnoi runs India's largest criminal empire.
News is now content. Just stream it. Download the world's first news OTT, News9 Plus, ahead of the curve.
So, the South Indian is back after a break, and this is what we are discussing. Karnataka seems to be ignited. It's kind of, I'm not exaggerating it, it is starting. It's like a bushfire, it's spreading. Mandya, Dharwad, Bhatkal, Raichur, 4 of them, and in a span of what? 4 days? 1 week is Mandya, but after that add or subtract a few days for the other. Let me also get Brinda Adige now on the screen. Brinda, whenever there is communal strife which is studied in the south, and I'm not talking about NCRB or such, because I know that when I last spoke to you, you said NCRB, perhaps, we have to look at the method to the madness. But when you speak about other agencies also, what, Brinda, Karnataka seems to be particularly vulnerable. I mean, there is an entire region, Dakshina Uttara Karnataka or Dakshina Karnataka, which seems to be the Hindutva laboratory is what it is called, and I think it's very disparaging to call it a laboratory, Hindutva laboratory. But we've seen many incidents, there are statistics galore, but of course I'm not putting them up because one differs from the other, and I don't want to take sides at all on this, because it's about us, it's about all of us, it's not just about one community. But Brinda, don't you think that the ground is getting, because election is not something which is a simple matter now, it is a lot of strategies go into it. Don't you think the ground is now, Brinda, being prepared to sow the seeds of the election through all this Mandya, Raichur, Bhatkal, etc., etc.?
Sudha, you hit the nail on the head correctly. Elections are around the corner, and like you mentioned, these are communal violence. What we must first ask ourselves is, there was a national flag on a mast. Then there was a Hanuman flag. Now, which state is that Hanuman from? It's not a state flag. It is a religious flag.
Yes.
It is a community's flag. And that flag going on to the same mast as the national flag is a crime. That is the law. Tomorrow, if somebody changes the law, that is secondary. But today, that went up and the violence started over there. Then you have somebody calling the national flag as a Taliban flag. So the usage of words are also communal.
Yes.
They didn't call the flag anything. They didn't call it Karnataka flag, South Karnataka flag, East India flag. No. They called it as a Taliban flag. So this communalism and the communal violence is very, very systematically being organized and executed. And like you mentioned, because the elections are round the corner, even the ruling dispensation is treating these people with kid gloves. And because of that, we now saw after Mandya, we see the next state, then we saw Raichur, next district, then Raichur and Bhatkal. And there were a lot of murmurs and there were a lot of things happening in Bangalore also. It's not that Bangalore was spared of any of these happenings outside Bangalore city. So this communal violence is taking a tone of impunity. Imagine somebody going and was constructing a flag post stand inside the panchayat office. Now, panchayat office, yes, it's a government office, it's a public office, it belongs to you and to me. But do you or I, anybody else, have a right to go there and construct something? No.
It's not innocent.
There is a rule. Yeah, there is a norm.
Yeah.
There are permissions to be taken and orders to be passed before something like that can happen. The fact that a group goes there and does it just goes to show that there is a certain amount of impunity and there is some kind of support, maybe tacit, maybe overt, that they are getting from a group or groups of powerful people.
All right.
The operative word is powerful.
Powerful people.
Not so much of authority as much as power.
Okay. Yeah. Suresh, welcome to the debate. Suresh, you know, the thing is that one of the incidents where a flag was hoisted, you know, they said that we had, like Brinda said about panchayat office, they said that the removal of the flagpole should not happen because we've already sought permission from the Gram Panchayat. Then the Gram Panchayat official said, no, we did not give any such permission, but it turns out that one of the officials in the Gram Panchayat office did have a kind of verbal talk with one of the chaps who was there to put up the flagpole, so on and so forth. You want to, if one wants to see it through the prism of law, then obviously he's, you know, broken some rules. But in all this, I mean, you feel like it's like a high school problem. You know, somewhere I think that he said this teacher and he said that teacher. I think somewhere Siddaramaiah is also allowing it, and in a way, like HDK said, ceding space to the BJP. If he wants to scream and shout that you are the descendants of Godse, what are you doing? It's dereliction of duty. Would you agree?
Thank you, Sudha. I'm actually in the parking lot of the Rajiv Gandhi International Airport waiting for my flight to Delhi.
First of all, have a good flight and come to my city, Suresh.
Yeah, I'm back tomorrow evening in Hyderabad, so it's a short trip. But nevertheless, one factor which I want to ask is the Hanuman Dhwaj. Forget the fact of whether it is raised here, raised there and all that. Remember, what's the connection between Ramayana and Mahabharata? Sudha, I would ask you. On Lord Krishna's, rather Arjuna's chariot, the Dhwaj on top is Lord Hanuman. Now, ask me what is the connection between Mahabharata and Ramayana. Even I was astounded when I first learned about it, and then I asked my father-in-law, who's very well read, and he gave me a very solid reason for it, which of course will take a long time on a debate like this. But to call it a community's flag or a religious flag is wrong. I think the Hanuman Dhwaj, whether it is hoisted there, that is all a different context. Illegal, it's illegal. But to call it a one religion's flag is wrong thing, because Hanuman's flag was hoisted on Arjuna's chariot, which was being ridden by Krishna.
So who was the Arjuna? Who was the Arjuna in Mandya?
No, I'm not getting to Arjuna or Krishna here. There are none of them qualify in that respect. What I'm trying to ask is that there is this flag being called communal, which I think is wrong. But as I said, okay, there has been this kind of illegal hoisting, permission, not permission. Look at the Bhatkal incident. What happened? They said the board is illegal. Fine, remove it.
Yeah.
But then what happened was that the guys got into a trap, the guys who were enforcing the rule, because those who were there insisted that all illegal boats should be removed.
Yeah, okay.
And now the problem arises.
But don't you see it's so ridiculous, no? You have work, you are traveling from one city to another, we are all earning a living. This seems to be also a job, in the sense that's what they are doing. They are going out in the morning, and I am saying a larger picture is, Suresh, that the ground is being readied, and I am very surprised you are saying that the Bhagwa Dhwaj or the Dhwaj with Hanumana or Anjaneya is does not, it represents it's a religion. I mean, the entire kernel of this country now seems to be revolving around the Ramayana only. So, I mean, no one can, actually say that it doesn't. It is absolutely, it has a communal color. Bhaskar Hegde, I'll come back to you. Bhaskar, tell me something. One thing which I want you to please concentrate on is that, don't you think that the Siddaramaiah government somewhere is completely failing in delivering its duties? Every time we hear only, they are very busy trying to clean the mess that has been created both in the party as well as the government, and they are really not ready to do this. Is it also sometimes, I think maybe it is just deliberate? I mean, let the fires kind of burn on, and then maybe we will come later and be the good guys.
Possible, Sudha. I think what you said might be right, because there are two things. One is the way Congress government reacts to this kind of incidents is totally different from a BJP government. I think the knee-jerk reaction the Congress government, they gave to Karagodu was kind of a bit of unexpected, and they should have used a bit of in-depth analysis before reacting to Karagodu incident. And second thing, basically after that, so the incidents happened everywhere, including Bangalore, some localities in Bangalore. So now they are grappling with a situation that they have to remove or forcing communities to remove everywhere across Karnataka. This is a very unusual situation that the government is landed itself in. I think, there could be two reasons why I think Siddaramaiah government might have mishandled the situation. One is the knee-jerk reaction, or if it is a very well thought out strategy, it's a very well thought strategy equally from the opposite side. That is, we react in the same way that the BJP acts, so that our vote bank can be intact. Okay, right. If we consider that as a communal, and Congress reaction also in the same way that they want to retain their vote bank. I think there lies the problem is the government.
All right. Anusha, I want to come to you, and I want you to also weigh in on the role of HDK. It is very obvious that now, after having this unholy or holy alliance with the BJP, he is very clear that the minority Muslim votes are not going to come to him, as it was proven even during the last elections when the Muslims by and large went to the Congress, although they were not, HDK was not part of the entire BJP, grouping. So far as the Vokkaligas are concerned, analysts proved that they went to DK Shivakumar of the Congress party. But today, look at what HDK is doing. He says, I will not do anything which is illegal, but I will protest at all this. What is he trying to do? Is he just trying to be relevant, Anusha? Because I don't think he is going to get any votes by, kind of traveling in two boats. He is going to just go under.
What's the JDS's interest, especially in the first incident of Mandya, is like I was pointing out in your previous show as well. We have to understand that Mandya is the heart of JDS vote base. It is the heart of JDS's politics. Mandya and Hassan are two districts where the JDS cannot afford to lose its relevance, whether it is in terms of representation, whether it is in terms of popularity, vote share, etc. In a scenario where there is communal polarization,
right?
BJP has a proven track record of being the beneficiary of communal polarization in a region, whether it is in ruling or in opposition. Now, when that polarization comes to the heart of JDS politics, the JDS simply cannot afford to lose out on what could be beneficial for the BJP. Now, it has picked its side, it has chosen to go with the BJP, and it wants in on what will be essentially a division of votes between the Congress and anybody else.
All right.
So this is anti-Congress sentiment that the JDS wants to cash in, and they can't afford to lose it.
All right. On that note, I'll take a break right now, but I'm coming right back to conclude the debate. So stay with us, ladies and gents. You're watching the South Indian.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए, और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है Money9। आजादी पैसे की, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
How do you fulfill that promise? Because ultimately expectations have to be met. If you look at the political landscape, is it really changing for women? And what is the inability of the forces that dead bodies surface but not the living people?
The current Currently, the industry is facing a lot of challenges as far as demand is concerned. Basically, the US markets has slowed down because of high inflation.
So obviously, diamonds being a dream product, something which doesn't have a utility value or is seen as a luxury. So that obviously goes off your shopping list. That's the first item that will go off your shopping list, especially in recessionary trends.
That lab-grown diamonds are not mined, and they do away with the entire mining. So they save up on all the environmental damage that is associated with mining, and of course, the mining cost, which is why they're even more affordable.
People that is impacted by all these recessions are the artisans, are the people who work in this industry, right? But I think lab-grown diamond has allowed them to actually use their skills in the same product.
This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now.
A defiant performance by Ten Hag's men. Now standing at 7 feet 4 inches, Satnam Singh is making his way into professional wrestling.
We are getting more good news for India.
वर्ष 2070 तक भारत नेट जीरो का लक्ष्य हासिल करेगा.
There is certainly a wall of capital coming into the clean tech, climate tech space, not just in India but across the world.
This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now.
Welcome back. The South Indian is back after a break. This is what we are discussing today. Karnataka seems to be split wide open at its initial stages, but you never know when it gets from bad to worse. So far as communal strife is concerned, started with Mandya, went to Dharwad, Bhatkal and Raichur. I have several experts on the screen, and let me now go to Brinda Dige. Brinda, the point is not so much about, if you look at the larger picture, these incidents will keep happening, whatever it may be. But the thing is that ultimately it's also about economics. If you remember, I'm saying economics because last time these incidents happened, shops were looted of the Muslim community. They were not allowed to kind of do their business. Even I remember how during the hijab row, one child, college student got on, and then he also hoisted a saffron dhwaja. We saw how Karnataka, everything stopped for those many days. It's getting from bad to worse. So I just want you to, to weigh in on this, because everyone said, oh, it's the BJP government. But I think the Congress government is equally a lame duck government, as it were. It's been a year and it doesn't seem to be handling its authorities well at all, the local authorities, as it were.
Yes, you're right. One part of it is economics. The other part of it is law and order and security of citizens. Because on your channel, we also heard that some families in that district moved away from the space because they were afraid that they might be attacked upon. So like you mentioned, a group of people, high-handedness, so-called powerful, will do these kind of things that are violent, that are aggressive against a certain community. And then there is a loss of economics for that particular community, not so much for the others. Secondly, the safety and security. Now, there are no cases that are actually registered. So, like you mentioned, the Karnataka government just now is literally spectators. They may be making out a lot of noise. They may talking to channels and saying that this is wrong, that is right, they shouldn't have done it. But when we are asking, you have the power just now why are you not utilizing and exercising and implementing the laws that must be and can be implemented? Because that is what your job is, to ensure economics, more than that, safety and security of the people who voted you into power.
Right. Anusha, I don't want to kind of be insulting towards people at all. Everyone is us and we are everybody. But you know, experts say very clearly that people vote differently for state elections and general elections. State elections done, we've got our 5 guarantees, Annabhagya, Griha Jyoti, everything I've got, I can travel free in buses, everything has happened. Now let all this Rama Sita and you know Tipu Sultan, all this go on, and I will vote differently and I will not vote for the party which I voted for back in April and May. So do you think that this is also BJP is really working brilliantly on this particular mindset, Anusha, considering you're a journalist and we do know that there are strategies behind everything that takes place?
No, I do not think that if communal issues could get you votes, the BJP would be in power right now in Karnataka. The breakup of vote share in Karnataka will allow you to see that even in its so-called communal bastions, the BJP has lost vote share in Karnataka this assembly election, despite the same communal rhetoric, etc. In Lok Sabha election, for example, even there the voting pattern was, yes, Karnataka votes differently for assembly, Lok Sabha, that has been the trend throughout, and this time too, perhaps that is how the results of the Lok Sabha election could be. We do not know. But what the difference here is how there are new geographical regions, new communities, new areas, new groups that are being selected to try to run this communal rhetoric experiment on. If it is going to give you better results, different results, lower results than any. So this entire project of instigating communal narratives in old Mysore region, it started well before Karnataka Assembly election, whereas in other parts of Karnataka, it has been the narrative for many, many years, if not decades now. But does this alone get you votes? Absolutely not. Even those who are voting for the BJP in the Lok Sabha elections are not voting for the BJP only because of communal rhetoric. That vote share is anyway going to the BJP. But the party is trying to convert more people in different regions where it doesn't have the same kind of impact, support, and vote share like it does. Whether it pays off is a different matter. But the core voters of the BJP are with the BJP, and those who do not vote for BJP on ideological lines are not going to vote for it over these narratives.
All right. On that note, I've completely run out of time. Thank you very much, Anusha, Ravi, Sood. Thank you, Bhaskar. Such a pleasure. Thank you, Brinda. And thank you to Suresh, who's traveling and made the time to join the show. Thanks, all you guys. Thank you very much indeed. So, one thing is clear, that the ground in Karnataka is being ready for something big. I hope not, because communal strife at any cost should be avoided. But so far as prayers are concerned, I'm all for prayers. That's the story after I take a break. South Indian is here, and that's what we are going to talk about. Puja has started, it has commenced, it has begun at Vyasji ka Tehkhana, and we are speaking about the Gyan Vapi issue. Imagine you started your prayers in 1551 and then you went in 1993, it was stopped, and today the puja commences. A day after the Varanasi District Court gave its orders, members of the Hindu priest Somnath Vyas, who is a hereditary priest, started his prayers at a cellar in the basement of the Gyan Vapi Mosque. In a very big development, the court on Wednesday had allowed the family of the priest to conduct puja in the Vyasji ka Tehkhana area as it was in the disputed site's premises. The administration unsealed the premises 30 years after it was sealed on just the oral orders of former Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister, the late Mulayam Singh Yadav. This of course followed the Babri Masjid demolition on 6 December 1992. The Gyanvapi Mosque has 4 cellars in its basement. One of them was in the possession of a family of priests that used to actually live there. Somnath Vyas, a member of the Vyas family, offered prayers in the cellar before it was sealed in 1993. Somnath is of course the patriarch of the Vyas family and had lodged a petition in the court asking for his property and rights at the Tehkhana. District Court Judge Dr. Ajay Krishna Vishwesh in his judgment had said that the barricading surrounding the Tehkhana, which happened in 1993, be removed and the puja be conducted by the Vyas family. So, what you see there or on your screens is the first day of puja at the Vishwanathji temple. Like I said, prayers are good, they spread good cheer and gives us hope that there is someone up there to take good care of us.
This is a very, very important order, and let me tell you that in compliance of the orders of the Honorable District Court of Varanasi passed yesterday, the district administration and the state government has complied with that orders, and the current situation is that the barricading has been, alternate amendments had been made in the barricading, gate has been made, and daily puja has started in the Vyas Parivar Tehkhana.
बहुत ही सुखद अनुभूति है, जो अनुभूति मैं बयां नहीं कर सकती, क्योंकि इस पल का मैंने बहुत बरसों शायद इंतजार किया है। जब सर्वे हो रहा था उस दौरान भी हम लोग को जब जाना चाहते थे, जाने नहीं दिया जाता था, ये कह के नहीं जाने दिया जाता था कि मस्जिद का ही नीचे का हिस्सा है, आप महिलाएं हैं, आप नहीं जा सकती हैं। तो बस एक दिल पे पत्थर रख के वहीं बैठ के बाहर से देखती रहती थी और महादेव से प्रार्थना करती रहती थी कि महादेव जल्द हम लोग को अंदर बुलाइए। तो आज वो सुखद पल मिल रहा है, तो मेरे लिए खुशी का, मैं तो समझती हूँ कि मैं सबसे बड़ी सौभाग्यशाली आज की।
बहुत अच्छी बात है, क्योंकि उसको जब आदेश हो गया तो पूजा तुरंत शुरू हो जाना चाहिए, और जो आज से पूजा शुरू हो गई है वो बहुत अच्छी बात है, क्योंकि वहाँ के जो भी कार्य हैं, जो भी सर्वे हुआ है, वो कोर्ट के संज्ञान में है कि वस्तुतः है क्या ये ज्ञानवापी। वस्तुतः ये है कि मंदिर है, और मंदिर ज्ञानवापी मंदिर में पूजा अर्चना जो बंद हुई थी वो गलत हुआ था, और इसी की मांग करके हुए इन लोगों ने एप्लीकेशन कोर्ट को दिया था। कोर्ट ने सब सारी संपत्ति, सारी व्यवस्था जान करके तब उसने इस प्रकार से आदेश पारित किया और पूजा भी प्रारंभ कर दिया। और पूजा इस विधि विधान से किया गया, क्योंकि जो सुयोग्य विद्वान हैं उनके द्वारा उसको व्यवस्थित करके और पूजा पाठ करके पहले वो शुद्धिकरण करने के बाद में पूजा शुरू हुई। यह बहुत अच्छी बात है। और ज्ञानवापी का भी वह पूरा आदेश जो तथाकथित मस्जिद है, वो जो कहा जाता है वो मस्जिद नहीं है, वहाँ ज्ञानवापी मंदिर है, और इस प्रकार के आदेश शीघ्र ही कोर्ट दे देगी, जिससे कि वहाँ पर कार्य होना लगेगा।
खुशी है, मतलब बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है कि हम लोग एक एक पायदान आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। अभी अब बाबा का उद्धार अभी बाकी है, अभी मतलब हम लोग को ज्ञानवापी मंदिर अभी लेना है, अभी हमारा पूर्ण प्रतिज्ञा नहीं हुई है, अभी उसको पूर्ण करना है।
आज का दिन बहुत गौरवान्वित क्षण लग रहा है, हम रोम रोम पुलकित हो गया है। जैसे ही बाबा का दर्शन किए, हमको लगता है कि जो माननीय कल का फैसला जो माननीय डॉक्टर ए.के. विश्वेश जी ने दिया था कि जो है ये जैसे फैसला दिया, वह फैसला हमको अभूतपूर्व लगा। यह क्षण जो है जिसको हम लोग जो 40 वर्षों से लगे थे, और कदम एक एक सीढ़ी हम लोग आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, बड़ा ही गौरवान्वित क्षण है।
So there you saw sheer bliss. So as the pujas begin at the Vyasji ka Tehkhana at the Gyanvapi. You know, the one thing which is very good about this show and other shows on News9 is that we give you a variety. So look, we started with Karnataka, we told you how the ground is being readied, then we showed you how the pujas have begun at Vyasji ka Tehkhana, and now a documentary which is coming up. Remember the year 1971, it was a year when India and Bangladesh was not yet formed, but they got together and they fought a war. What did the Bangladeshis say? That we are first Bengalis. Bangla is our mother tongue, and they fought with what was then West Pakistan because they said Urdu is more superior a language. India gave them support and they won a war. After that, it also, apart from language and food and several other things, it also started showing in cinema. Movies like Sam Bahadur, movies like Pipa, and movies like Mujib, the leader. So that's the documentary which is coming up now. And with that, the South Indian says Vanakkam, Namaskara, stay well, and prayers are good, I tell you.
Currently, the industry is facing a lot of challenges as far as demand is concerned. Basically, that US markets has slowed down because of high inflation.
So obviously, diamonds being a dream product, something which doesn't have a utility value or is seen as a luxury. So that obviously goes off your shopping list. That's the first item that will go off your shopping list, especially in recessionary trends.
That lab-grown diamonds are not mined, and they do away with the entire mining. So they save up on all the environmental damage that is associated with mining, and of course, the mining cost, which is why they're even more affordable.
People that is impacted by all these recessions are the artisans, are the people who work in this industry, right? But I think lab-grown diamond has allowed them to actually use their skills in the same product.
This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now.
A defiant performance by Ten Hag's men. Now standing at 7 feet 4 inches, Satnam Singh is making his way into professional wrestling.
We are getting more good news for India.
Year-old Parvati Bai Jadhav has been staying at this hut in Dharavi for the last 50 years. Her family of 4 dreams of moving out of their 100 square feet home to a larger and concretized house, once Asia's largest slum, is redeveloped. But their dream may run into a number of roadblocks.